Paige DeSorbo breaks silence on abrupt exit from Love Island USA, the medical emergency behind the scenes. Reality television star Paige DeSorbo has finally revealed the truth behind her mysterious and sudden disappearance from Love Island USA. The summer house personality, beloved for her wit, honesty, and fashion-forward charm, addressed the issue for the first time in full detail during a candid episode of the Giggly Squad podcast, the show she co-hosts with best friend and fellow Bravo-celebrity Hannah Berner. Her exit had left fans of the show puzzled. Viewers were quick to speculate online, wondering why Paige had left without warning, especially since her presence on Love Island USA had been heavily anticipated. However, as Paige now explains, the reason was far more serious and deeply personal than any behind-the-scenes drama. It turns out her departure was the result of a sudden and intense medical emergency, triggered by the physical toll of filming under extreme weather conditions in Fiji. Arrival in paradise, but not in perfect shape. Paige started by sharing that she had just arrived in Fiji and hadn't yet had time to properly adjust to the environment before being thrown into the thick of production. The combination of jet lag, humidity, dehydration, and extreme heat hit her hard. She described feeling completely out of sync with her body, lightheaded, weak, and disoriented, but still determined to power through her commitment. "I wasn't acclimated. My body hadn't caught up," Paige confessed during the podcast. "But I didn't want to say anything. I just wanted to do the job I was brought there to do." Battling through the heat, quietly suffering. Despite the warning signs her body was giving her, Paige chose not to raise concern to producers or the crew. Her decision, she said, came from a deep-rooted desire not to be labeled as difficult or dramatic. As someone who values professionalism and prides herself on her resilience, she didn't want to be seen as someone who couldn't handle the job. "The sun was beating down on me aggressively," she explained, recounting how filming took place under a scorching, cloudless sky. "I'm really uncomfortable, but because I have a high pain tolerance, I just kept going." She even admitted that she waited until the very last second to voice any concerns because she didn't want to be a problem or a burden to the production team. The breaking point. About an hour and a half into filming, the situation escalated. Paige began to feel severely ill. Her vision blurred, her muscles weakened, and her nausea intensified, until she couldn't ignore it any longer. Despite trying to maintain her composure, her body started to shut down. First, she threw up on set, still trying to minimize the disruption. But then came the breaking point. She collapsed. "I remember sitting down to try to breathe for a second, and the next thing I know, I had passed out," Paige recalled. At that moment, filming came to an abrupt halt. Medical personnel on site immediately rushed to her side. It became clear that she was experiencing symptoms of heat exhaustion, or potentially even early heat stroke. Her condition was serious enough to warrant immediate care, and a swift decision was made. She had to step away from the show for the sake of her health. Why she stayed silent, until now. One of the more emotional parts of Paige's recounting came when she talked about why she chose to keep this story under wraps for so long. She didn't want sympathy or attention. She also didn't want to take away from the focus of the show or the cast members who were continuing on the journey. "I didn't want people to think I was being dramatic," she said. "There's a lot that goes into filming, and I know how hard everyone works. I just didn't want to interrupt that or take away from the experience." The decision to finally speak out was not taken lightly. Paige wanted to set the record straight, not just for fans who had lingering questions, but to shed light on the unseen pressures reality TV stars face. From long filming hours to intense physical demands, what's shown on camera is often only a fraction of the full experience. A cautionary tale in reality TV. Paige's experience has sparked broader conversations about how reality television often pushes its cast members to their physical and mental limits. While audiences see glamorous scenes and romantic drama play out on screen, behind the scenes, participants are often grappling with exhaustion, isolation, and unfamiliar environments. Her story is a powerful reminder of the importance of listening to one's body, even in high-pressure situations. Sometimes you just have to take a moment and say, "I need help," and that's okay, Paige added during the podcast. She also gave credit to the Love Island USA production team, who she said were incredibly supportive once the situation became clear. They made sure she received medical attention and respected her need to step away to recover. What's next for Paige? Despite the scare, Paige DeSorbo is doing well now. She reassured fans during the podcast that she's back to full health and grateful for the love and concern many people showed after her disappearance from the show. She continues to focus on her podcast, fashion ventures, and Bravo projects, and promises that this experience won't stop her from taking on new challenges in the future. "I learned a lot about myself," she said. "And if I had to do it again, I'd speak up sooner. Because no job is worth putting your health at risk."